So, what would you suggest that how schools and colleges or universities could collaborate so that beyond the classroom the students could find out the ways and means and effective projects could be there so that the things could be sustainable and students can work towards sustainability.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, BSE, for giving this opportunity. Today I am here to represent KIET Group of Institutions, not just as a PR or international relations head, but also as somebody who has a real inclination towards developing students, not just as academicians, but as somebody who is able to contribute to the citizenship of the country through their different mindset, the way they think, the way they contribute. And sustainability we talk about now. Sustainability, I think, is no more a chapter. It's a culture, which is not to be taught to people, rather it has to be brought into the lives of the people. We need to bring it to action. And that's the reason is that I felt that we should be collaborating. There should be a bridge between schools as well as universities. When it comes to schools and universities, why we want to connect with them, there's a very different thought behind it. Though sometimes students are very apprehensive that these universities are approaching us because they want admissions or something else. But here I want to make it very clear, it's not just that, but it is the instructions given in the NEP 2020 even. And it is the mindset of the universities that matters most. Here, what I want to bring onto the table is that when we collaborate between the school and the university, there is a collaboration, it can bring a lot of transformation in the mindset of students. When it comes to sustainability, so a real-time example I'll try to give. So KIET has signed MOUs or collaborating with a few schools. One is there in Modi Nagar, a few in Kasaragod and in Delhi. So when we collaborated, we had a thought that we'll be acting as the siblings or senior siblings of the school students, whom we could give the hands-on learning to what they are learning creatively. What came up was that there were projects which were given to the students. They were working on the poster making, and when it came to green technology, perhaps plastic saving. So we are working on that. So one of the schools worked on plastic saving. They taught them through posters, through real-time projects. But the projects were just within the school itself. But when it came to KIET, what our students did, we collaborated with them and gave them the platform of real life, making sustainable projects in solar power. So those plastics turned into giving them the different version of it. Plastic related things were removed and they could take one or two more steps and get into more sustainable things which could give that kind of filters which would be solar power now, that kind of things which would be completely eliminated from what they learned theoretically in their schools and classes. So that's where I believe that when university students come in contact or in collaboration with schools, we can turn the theoretical learning into action. So now the real products can be developed. So how it can be worked upon is collaboration can take things very, very differently, make them learn to turn things at a very younger stage. School students usually feel that they have posters bana diye, sab kuch kar diya. But now, what school students started saying after being in touch with the students of the university, when they started learning that they can be such big transformation, they said, "Ma'am, ab to man hi nahi karta, plastic ki bottles भी use करें या फिर take." So we should have this kind of thing happening. I believe sustainability, as I shared, it's not just to be learned or taught, it has to be brought into action. As Preeti and you shared that it is not something which is to be just given to the students in the form of theoretical lecture. It is something which is to be brought into action through us even. We should be the faculty, the people who are into this system, have to bring some examples to the table for them, so they could learn, they could see what is being done and how we can proceed with it. So that's where I believe when we collaborate, we can work on different projects, on green technologies, on plastic saving, on cleanliness. When we talk about cleanliness, usually the students will be working in the schools for the school itself. But university students, they can bring in technology. And that technology, along with their critical learning, can make small kids become such technological people in their young stages itself that वो उनकी लाइफ का एक पार्ट हैबिट बनता है. And then when they grow up with the technical institutions or wherever they go, they would be following that as a habit, not as somebody who's going to tell them सब कुछ साफ रखो ऐसे करो. वो उनकी habit में आ जाएगा. And then that is what is which we are doing forward. It's something that we want really happening instead of just being taught. So that's what I believe that school and university, when they bridge up, there are so many things that can come to the table and the students can make so much utilization of that. And I believe peer learning se acha kuch nahi hai.
Which could be done amongst the universities and school, maybe with your college, with some school. Can you suggest some activity which we actually could bring into practice and can enhance sustainability?
So as our the flagship programs are based on technology, I would say that we can go for something like cleaning drives or the ones which can integrate green technology on the table. The schools can collaborate with the universities or the institutions which can support them having an activity which is done in the school initially and then taken up to the next level with the help of the students, where they are taught how to save energy, how to keep the environment clean. And I was very happy to listen to Ritvik also when he said that we can have these separate packages for food. So that is something very nominal we can contribute to the environment. But other than that, we use utilizing technology in a very thoughtful way and how we can train school students and develop them into such people who can work on cleanliness, and then that becomes a lifestyle. That's how we can start with small projects, small activities, but then real-time hands-on learning. It's not about what we are going to train them into, but it's about what they get about it, they get into it, how they absorb it into their lives. So again, this, as I said, not just training them or teaching them critically, let's bring them onto action of it. Action that too makes them realize the real life needs and how they have to sustain it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.